Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This beautiful fall day. Welcome. Welcome to Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional land of the Catawba, Keawe, and Sugary peoples. We honor them. My name is Elaine Deck, and I will be the worship assistant this morning for the Reverend Dr. Amy Rio. We are a flourishing, vibrant, and radically welcoming congregation which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope that our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives boldly and acts justly. To all of our visitors and our members, we're very glad you're here, whether in person or with us online, and your presence is a gift to us. Today is Legacy Sunday, where we will have a special focus on our Endowment Committee. Members of the Endowment Committee will assist with part of the service today. Our endowment helps prepare us for the future, and people can donate at any time, including with their will. Please see members of this committee if you have any questions or would like to learn more. Our church is hosting the annual Interfaith Thanksgiving meal in our Salisbury location this Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock. Temple Israel and John Calvin Presbyterian Church will be with us. So please bring a dish to share. No pork products, please. And everyone is invited to attend. For other important information about our vibrant community, please see either our order of service, or if you're on our email list, please check our monthly newsletter and weekly announcements. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
Hear now these words from Audette Fulbright Fulson. This light we kindle is set in the lamp of our history. We inherit this free faith from the brave and gentle, fierce and outspoken hearts and minds that have come before us. Let us be worthy inheritors of this faith, and through our good works, pass it boldly to a new generation. Please join me now in singing the words to lighting our chalice, the symbol of our faith.
May we find peace.
you, Anne. I invite you now to please stand as you are willing or able for our call to worship, which is found in our bulletin. And this is a unison reading for all of us to share together. So let us now begin. We gather this morning as so many have gathered before over the years. We gather in grace and love, in justice and welcome, in peace and hope. We are thankful for the legacy of those who have gone before, of the spirit-filled space they created, a place of covenant and right relations. We ask that we might be guided by that good legacy, and that we continue to create that which is a good legacy for those who come after us. May it be so. Our first hymn is found in our gray hymnals, number 128, For All That Is Our Life. Carl is going to provide our children's message, our Time for All Children. Carl is the head of our endowment committee. And if we have any little ones back in the nursery, I think they will really enjoy Carl's outfit. He has a special outfit he's wearing today. Okay, I think we've got a couple little ones. I'll hold this for you, Carl. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll sit down. Hey, Harley, come on up. You want to sit here?
See, I have a book. Do you have a toy? Yeah. My book is about honeybees. Do you like honey? Do you know what honey is? Honey is your mom, I bet. That's who honey is. Okay. Well, honeybees often are in trees because trees have flowers. Red maples have flowers. Tulip poplars have flowers. And the picture on this book is of sourwood trees. And sourwood is an expensive honey. Yeah, cars are going down the street. And honeybees are in the trees, huh? The reason I'm talking about honeybees is they're a lot like our church. I look out and I see my brothers and sisters out here. And honeybees are all sisters. Many of them are half-sisters. Yes. So half-sisters in the hive are the workers that you see. It takes 21 days for a honeybee to go from an egg into a emerging adult bee. And in the springtime, they live about 35 days. So it takes 21 days for them to emerge, and then 10 more days, or 11. Well, you subtract, okay? And they've worn out their wings. The dust in the air, when they fly, impacts their wings, and it wears it out. Their wings beat about 200 times a second. The power company here has 60 cycles per second. The honeybees beat almost 4 times faster, well, 3.5 times faster than this power company electricity beats. That's amazing, isn't it? Now, there's a lot of things about honeybees that I'd like to tell you, but You want some time left, right? Anyway, in the winter, of course, bees live longer. Bees that are emerging in September and October live through February. And then they die, and a new set of spring bees emerge and start all over again. But what's similar to our church is that those bees in the springtime live such a short life, and they don't get to enjoy all the fruits of their labor, because by June, most of them are gone. And then in July and August and early September, there are no flowers. There might be some dandelions. The beekeepers talk about dandelions as the McDonald's of the beekeeper's grocery bar list. They don't really like them, but they're handy. So then what happens is the bee that created all this honey are gone. They've left a legacy for the people, not the people, the bees that follow. And that's what I like about honeybees. They're just like us. Honeybees talk, but they talk with their butt. You and I talk with our hands. We point. Do you point? Can you point? Yeah, you can point. Well, honeybees don't have fingers. So honeybees wiggle, they dance. If the sun is shining over there and the flowers are over there, they'll go down here and they'll wiggle. And if it's just a short distance, they'll wiggle right to the end of that light there on the deck. If it's a long ways, they'll wiggle all the way down to the piano. And that's how they tell their other bees in the hive where to find the nectar. Well, folks, this is an interesting perspective. I'm a pretty tall guy, but I I guess probably wrap it up.
Harley, would you like to come see Mr. Carl's outfit here? He wears this when he gets really close to bees. It's something special. Do you see? Look at that. Yeah, Harley looks like a bee with his nice little yellow jacket. Do you see this? And Mr. Carl, see, it goes over his head. It helps protect him from the bees. Do you like that?
I hope the bee has fun.
Yeah.
Big black in
Thank you so much, Harley, for coming. And thank you, Carl, for your wonderful insight. Do you need a hand getting up here? Are you going to manage that?
Well, this will be interesting.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Carl, for that wonderful illustration. And I know I actually have learned a lot about bees this morning too, and how that helps us think about the legacy we are creating. Now, we have come to the time in our service for ritual and sacred sharing, a time when we share our joys and our sorrows, and our concerns and our milestones. So we will light candles for some of the special needs we have this time before we invite people to come forward. We light a candle for Gail. We are thrilled that she is back with us today, and yes, for your continued recovery. We also light a candle for Meredith, who we are so happy to see today as well. A candle for Tanya as she continues to recover from her knee replacement surgery. She's doing well from that. For Jane's mother, who has been hospitalized and was moved to a rehabilitation center yesterday with results from her fall and some of the health issues she's had. We light a candle for the ongoing struggle for civil rights in Iran, all areas of violence around the world, especially the war in Ukraine, the war in Israel and Palestine, and especially all the innocents who have been so awfully impacted by this. And we light a candle that a just peace may emerge for everyone who has been impacted by rising acts of Islamophobia and anti-Semitism. Now at this time, you are welcome to come forward, and we ask that as you do to please come forward along the side wall over here, this outside aisle. You may fill out a prayer card to place on the prayer wall. You may light a candle, or you may simply place a stone in our shared water to highlight your own joy or concern this morning. Time we light a few more candles for the things we hold in our hearts which remain unspoken, and also for those who are joining us virtually to honor what is in their hearts as well. We will now have a time of quiet rest, meditation, or prayer. I will sound the singing bowl, and then during our time of silence, I invite you to think of one word, or perhaps a short phrase, about the kind of legacy you are creating with your own life. It may be something like peace, love, unity, love for the earth. Think of a word or phrase that you hope to leave with the way you live your life. And during this time of silent meditation, simply breathe in and out that word or phrase.
This morning's wisdom reading is by Howard Thurman, entitled Deep is the Hunger. I watched him for a long time. He was so busily engaged in his task that he did not notice my approach until he heard my voice. Then he raised himself erect with all the slow dignity of a man who had exhausted the cup of haste to the very dregs. He was an old man. As I discovered before our conversation was over, a full 81 years. Further talk between us revealed that he was planting a small grove of pecan trees. The little treelets were not more than 2.5 or 3 feet tall. My curiosity was unbounded. I asked, why did you not select larger trees so as to increase the possibility of your living to see them bear at least 1 cup of nuts? I asked. He fixed his eyes directly on my face with no particular point of focus, but with a gaze that took in the totality of my features. Finally, he said, "These small trees are cheaper, and I have very little money." "So you do not expect to live to see the trees reach sufficient maturity to bear fruit?" I asked. "No," he replied, "but is that important? All my life, I have eaten fruit from trees that I did not plant. Why should I not plant trees to bear fruit for those who may enjoy them long after I'm gone? Besides, the man who plants because he will reap the harvest has no faith in life." Years have passed since that sunny afternoon in LaGrange, Georgia, when those words were said. Again and again, the thought has come back to me, quote, "Besides, the man who plants because he will reap the harvest has no faith in life." The fact is that much of life is made up of reaping where we have not sown and planting where we shall never reap. All of life is a planting and a harvesting. No one gathers merely the crop that they themselves have planted. We eat the fruit from the trees planted by others. We must plant the trees for others to enjoy the fruit.
So today is Legacy Sunday. It's our annual marking of our church year when we highlight our endowment committee and one of the important ways that our church plans for our long-term future. Now, I think as we look in our society and our world, we see a great deal of emphasis on focus with the here and now, particularly when it comes to a capitalist perspective. Our society tells us what is important is how much power and money one can have in the present moment. And obtaining power and money is seen as a valued good, no matter the impact it might have on the future. I think we see this most clearly in the willful ignorance about climate change. We are sacrificing our planet and the future of the children on our planet because of the greed of people who are living in this moment, not being concerned about the impact actions may have on the future. We might even hear people make statements about how, well, if we do this one thing that's going to help with the supposed climate change, then it's going to cost jobs. I think if we look at the research, we know that a lot of environmentally friendly jobs are being created, so that's not even a true statement. But this idea and the thought, the belief that money is more important than the future is something we hear a lot in our world. What we have now being more important than the future of this planet, being more important than the future for the children of our world. So during this month, we focus on the theme of heritage. And as we explore heritage, today is about creating a legacy. What legacy do we hope to create with our own lives? What legacy do we hope to create for the children of this world? What is the legacy of Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church that we are setting for tomorrow? Now, as we think about these questions, who we are as individuals and as a community, and what we hope to leave for the future, let's remember our covenant of purposes and our covenant of right relations. They're found on the website. You also can see them on some of the beautiful bookmarks that our office staff has created with our communications team. But let's share right now our covenant of purposes. We encourage and support individual freedom of religious beliefs for all. We share in a loving ministry for each other and thereby provide for our emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. We are dedicated to providing religious education for our children, which will enhance the positive worth of each child. We will strive towards social responsibility with the purpose of strengthening an individual commitment to self, to congregation, and to our larger community. We will seek the truth to enlighten and acknowledge human accomplishments and possibilities. Now, our covenant of right relations. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its prayer. We covenant to honor all spiritual paths with hospitality, to assume the best of one another from our highest selves, to dwell together in peace through kindness, and to serve others with compassion, honoring one another as members of beloved community. Now, our covenants describe not just who we aspire to be, individually and communally, but it also describes the legacy of the world that we are working towards creating. This is the legacy we are working into and want to leave for the world. Now, our endowment committee works towards creating the financial foundation of this church so that we can continue to live out our covenant and create the legacy that we know the world needs. So our very hardworking endowment committee has a skit they will share with us, which Sandra has created for us. And I invite the endowment committee who are going to be leading the skit to come forward at this time, and we'll make certain we get the microphones up for you too.
And in this little skit, he's going to play the part of the Odyssey. Right?
I'll do whatever you say.
Well, you've already done this in Salisbury, so I expect you to do very well. He's the part of the oracle, the person who knows everything. And Pam is going to be the questioner in our skit, and Jeff is going to be a commentator. Now, most of you know that the endowment fund is something that we can contribute to help our congregation continue into the future. And we're going to tell you more about that. Our purpose is to let everyone know that the endowment fund exists, and it's managed by people who are very experienced in economics and investments.
Well, who are the people who belong to this PUUC?
Well, I think they are seekers. They are Jews and they're Christians.
Oh my gosh.
They're humanists, they're agnostics, and some of them are even pagans.
I don't understand. Why are they together?
Well, they're together because they believe in love and justice, and they treasure diversity, and they care deeply for the earth.
I've heard that you use even recycle.
It's true, I heard that too. Unitarian Universalists recycle because they care about our earth.
I don't understand. Why do they need an endowment fund?
Well, they need one so their world view can go on when they are no longer able to be a part of the community. All of their children and all of the people that have joined the church can carry on their views about the world.
I've heard of atheists and pagans and even Christians. What's a humanist?
I don't know. Maybe that's a good question for the oracle.
I don't understand. Can they use money from the Gratitude Pledge Drive?
No, they can't use money from the Gratitude Pledge Drive. That's why they have their own endowment fund. The money is passed on to the UUA and is carefully invested and reported back to us about those investments. So our endowment fund doesn't use any money from our Gratitude Pledge Drives.
Well, I still don't understand. How can they make their money grow?
Well, we have people who know how to manage money and make investments. They have backgrounds in economics and they understand investment strategies. And so they help our money to grow and be a vital part of the endowment fund.
This question may be redundant, but who washes out for our money, and what makes them qualified to do it?
Well, the person in our committee happens to live in Salisbury, and he's the chair of the economics department at Catawba College. So he has a very good background in investments and finance. And he is the one who interprets what's happening with our fund to us when we meet as a committee. We have 2 people in the Salisbury area that are part of our committee, and then we have Pam and our chair, and myself here in Charlotte.
Well, I don't understand again. When can they spend this money, after all?
Well, let's ask the oracle. He knows all the answers. Does anybody have a question for the oracle?
Well, you did. You asked me to respond to humanism. And the oracle really doesn't know everything. The oracle goes to Google just like you do. So while you were all talking, I looked up humanism. It stands for the building of a more humane, just, compassionate, and democratic society using a pragmatic ethics based on human reason, experience, and reliable knowledge. No, I didn't know I was a humanist.
Now
But-
you know.
Now I know. The humanist ethic judges the consequences of human actions by the well-being of all life on Earth. That's pretty neat, isn't it?
Yes, and you're a humanist, but our congregation encompasses a lot of different world viewpoints, and there's room for everybody's viewpoint here.
So I guess, what were all these questions? I think I got lost here a minute, but let me use an example. You mentioned a nest egg early on. And this morning at Salisbury, I used a chicken coop as an example because that's where you find eggs. But I realized that the pecan analogy is also a good one. If we think of a nest egg that's got pecans in it instead of eggs, it works just as well. And you've already heard about this man in Georgia who were planting for the future generations, not for himself.
Right.
And that's what is happening with the legacy that we're creating in the endowment fund. If you think about how that endowment fund started, somebody had a nest egg full of pecans and they donated some to us. And we planted them out in back. Well, out actually in Wall Street, actually. But anyway, that's the beginning. And those pecans are growing. And they need fertilizer. And some people have contributed not just pecans, they've contributed other things. And you yourself, Sandra, have contributed. And we're using your contributions to fertilize those pecans as they're growing into trees. So we planted pecan trees. And now we have to wait. Yes, ma'am.
I'd just like to introduce my granddaughter. She's visiting me from Baltimore, and she had a question. Anna, did you have a question?
Grandma, can people younger than you also donate?
People older or younger?
Younger.
Oh, sure. You could, and you're a lot younger than I am. Go ahead.
So anyway, those pecan trees are not bearing pecans yet. And so we have contributions. Some are more pecans and we plant them. We've planted pecans now up to $140,000 about. It was somewhere $145,000. And when can we start getting pecans? So we can use those pecans to do things. Maybe start a new project. Maybe backfill the generosity team in case they don't come up with a balanced budget. Wouldn't that be nice to have something to do that with? Well, in our case, there are rules so that this money doesn't get wasted. And the rules say we need to have enough pecans so that we have equivalent of about $500,000 to $600,000 in our endowment. Now with 140 going on 150, that's a stretch yet. And so I have, and Myrna has, went to our estate planning, and we agreed to put a percentage of what pecans we have left after we're done, and donate them to the church. And our name's over there, along with Jeff and
Right there at the
and
left.
everybody else. I can't read from here. So anyway, yes, and so that's how we have come to where we are right now. Are there any other questions? I guess, yes, ma'am.
I have a question about this plaque over here that says Legacy Circle. What is this?
That's a board on the wall that says Legacy Circle. No, actually, those are the people who have contributed or promise to contribute in their estate plans to this church. And most of the time, or many times, it's not designated for the endowment fund, but it can be. Lucy did, and therefore those people are recognized, and some of them those names you will know, some of them are no longer alive. And that's why we have a legacy fund of $140,000. But yes, ma'am, you can donate. We need fertilizer for those trees, and that will add to our legacy. And you all, as my brothers and sisters, will have people following you, and they can enjoy the benefits of this. I throw a hand up.
Mighty Oracle, how do we invest in the legacy fund?
You go talk to somebody that's got money, either your banker or your attorney that sets up your estate plan. And you could take money out of your bank and send it to Deb, and Deb will put it in a special account. And when that account reaches $1,000, she'll send that to the people in Wall Street that are investing our money for the UUA's general combined fund. And so all of the churches that are investing in that are benefiting from the people that are following the rules of green investing, good ethical investing, and that then will buy us some shares of that fund. And those shares are how they sort out whose money is whose money in that fund, because all money looks alike. It's just bits in a computer, right? Well,
Thank you,
I
Odyssey.
think the article here, or whatever I am, is ran out of,
Some good explanations.
well, yeah, whatever it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our endowment committee for working with this. If you do have questions about the endowment, certainly speak to them after the service today or other times, and we can help get you connected.
Thank you, Anne. That was beautiful. Let there now be an offering to sustain this place and strengthen it, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. This month, we're sharing our offering plate with the Catawba Cultural Preservation Project. Since 1989, the Catawba Cultural Preservation Project has pursued their mission to, quote, preserve, protect, promote, and maintain a rich culture and heritage of the Catawba Indian Nation. At their location on the Catawba Indian Reservation in Rock Hill, South Carolina, the project provides cultural immersion classes, maintains an archive of historical records, works with archaeological projects, and operates a craft store, both physical and online, featuring many of the items that Catawba artists and artisans provide. We ask that you now place your gift in one of the baskets as they make their way around the room, or you may wait and drop it in the baskets as you exit our space. And of course, you're always welcome to give online at puuc.org or by texting the number PUUC at the number 73256. Today's offering will now greatly be received.
We give thanks for these very generous gifts, which are continuing the legacy that we are creating this day and every day. I invite you now to please stand as you are willing or able for our closing hymn, found in our gray hymnal, number 6, Just As Long As I Have Breath. Before we extinguish our chalice, I offer thanks for all the many volunteers and especially our endowment committee who helped make our worship service possible today. I also ask before you leave our space today after the service, if you will take your hymnals and place them on the cart near the piano, that will be a big help. Let us now do as we do each Sunday and take a few moments to give thanks, either in our hearts or with words that we would like to share for the things for which we are grateful today.
I'm grateful that what I have is not MS, but recently discovered to be something called CIDP. I'm being treated correctly and feeling better.
And for our virtual viewers, Meredith is so grateful. Her diagnosis is no longer MS. It's a different one where she's receiving appropriate treatment and is doing better. So we're so thrilled you're here today.
I'm grateful that my body somehow was able to tell me about my cancer, and it is all gone.
Oh, wow.
Gail is grateful that her body let her know the cancer was there and they've been able to get rid of all of it. We are so grateful for that too.
I'm grateful for my friend Sheila from Tennessee.
Sheila, we're glad to have you today.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm thankful for Anne, our pianist, our
Yes. We're all very, very grateful for Anne, such a gifted pianist who is just amazing. So,
Grateful for the legacy of community.
legacy of community.
I'm grateful for all the love in this community.
The love in this community.
Yeah.
There's definitely lots of fun here in this church, yes. So we give thanks for all these things and also other things which we hold in our hearts this morning. So let us go forth, giving thanks for the legacy that has been left us and filled with the hope and promise that we are creating the very best of legacies for those who come after us. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light, its warmth, and its meaning with us until we meet again. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we wander. May it be so. Now for our closing musical blessing, we traditionally form a circle. You may hold hands if you would like to do so. If you'd rather stand in the circle and not hold hands, simply place your hand over your heart.